2014 Ford Explorer. I'm at a transmission shop. Let me see if I can't get you guys to hear this. You might be able to hear that. You might not be able to hear that. There's a buzzing sound. They were concerned it needed a valve body because it does have transmission shifting issues, and the battery dies, and they hear that buzzing sound coming from the valve body. But as we can see, the car is off. The screen is off, the cluster's off, there's no lights on, the dome light's not on, the car is off. We can see here that the pre-scan talks to all the modules. Almost all of them except for front control, display interface module, if it even has that. But otherwise, every single module is talking. So that's why they hear that buzzing sound in the transmission, because the transmission is actually being turned on. Like the solenoids are being commanded. Unfortunately, I didn't get that. This is my second time here. I came and did a quick diagnosis and told them it was going to be a much deeper thing because the whole car is on. Excuse me. And I have to figure out why. What's keeping this vehicle awake, even though it appears that the vehicle is asleep. But we have communication codes, restraint event, lost comms with the BCM, lost comms with APIM, lost comms with steering column, voltage, battery voltage, lost comms with BCM, for HVAC damper motor, battery voltage. That's why I got a battery maintainer on there. We're at 14.3 volts. That should keep us up. Power steering control module, lost comms with steering angle, lost comms with ECM, with restraints, with parking assist, image processing, restraints. Oh, those are invalid data, sorry. Body control. So there's a lot of lost comms with the body control module. Now what we need to do is get a diagram and see if there's like a wake up circuit or something like that, and where does it come from. Okay, so we got the Explorers pulled up. All data is running. We're going to go to information bus, and we're going to see if there's any wake up circuits. How does this work? Body control module to the DLC, data link connector, which is the gateway basically. Body control module, instrument panel. So I see high speed. I see, I don't know what ICAN stands for, medium speed CAN, high speed CAN. Okay. Page 2. This is just a CAN network. Page 3. This is sync Gen 2. There's a joint connector. Still, this is ICAN. Let's go to 4. This is high speed. The thing is that everybody is awake on the high speed and the low speed, or medium speed and the ICAN. So all three networks are awake. All right, diagram number 6. And okay, as we see as I go through these diagrams here, that basically it's just showing us there's no wake up. From what I can tell, there's no wake up signals. So here's our medium speed CAN. Yeah, very strange. The whole car is awake. I mean, the whole car. Okay. Let's stay there at the CAN bus thing. What else can we find? You know what? Let's go to aftermarket diagram. Let's go to power and ground distribution. let's see how this works. So off the battery, we've got some big fuses. Power steering control module. Fuse 60, fuse F, which is a 60 amp, fuse B, which is a 100 amp, 2A, diagram 3 of 5, which is probably where we want to go. We have this leg here that comes to fuse 58 and many others, which is the battery junction box, the left side of the engine compartment. Okay. So what's this BCM, 100 amp fuse, diagram 3 of 5? Let's go check that out. Fuse A, right here, from high current battery junction box. That goes to, what is this thing that it is attached to? Okay, body control module, left end of dash. And here we see that they have the start-stop switch. Our vehicle is a push button. So there is a chance, let's see here, start-stop 2, start-stop 1. This says start-stop 1, active high. That goes remote function actuator. The PCM, it says 1 and 2. What do we got? 1 and 2. Where's that listed at? It's not on this diagram, is it? No, it must be on the first page. 1 and 2. Accept as police is 1 and police is 2. So we should be accept police, I do believe. So, whoops. So we would go 1 here, 2. Oh, I'm super confused about how this is written out right now. Then you got in, which is 5 of 5 for in. So for in, we have it right here, and it says police package. Fuse 95. We do not have that. So I don't know how this leg works out. I'm not sure. Confused right now. Right now my brain can't process it. It's too early in the morning. Okay, so we got remote function actuator, RFA module, which the key is not working. It has to be in the slot. What is a remote function actuator? That's a good question. RFA. Okay, here it is. This is what it is. Bolted to the back side of the dash. Behind the glove box. What is it? Is there any description in operation of this thing here? With intelligent access. Tells us the overview is PATS protects the vehicle from theft by preventing the ignition from turning on or the engine from starting unless a programmed intelligent access key is detected inside the vehicle. PATS cannot disable an already running engine. When the start-stop switch is pressed, the RFA module initiates key initialization sequence by activating 3 interior passive start antennas. Each passive start antenna transmits a low-frequency signal approximately 3 feet radius of each antenna. If an intelligent access key is within range of one of the 3 passive start antennas, the intelligent access key is activated. Once the intelligent access key is activated, it sends PATS identification code to the TIPM module via high-frequency signal. The TIPM module interprets the high-frequency signal from the intelligent access key. Wait a minute. Inside the vehicle. It communicates with the BCM over the medium speed CAN and allows the ignition to be transitioned out of off. When the ignition is turned on and the modules initialized, the RFA module, BCM, and the PCM exchange their identifications over the medium speed and high speed CAN. If each of the modules receives the correct identification from each other, PATS is enabled and allows the engine to start. If PATS disables the engine from starting system fault is displayed in the message center and the DTC is stored in one of the 3 modules. PATS and remote keyless entry system share the operation of several components, including the intelligent access key and the TIPA module. If there is a concern with either of these components, both PATS and remote keyless entry system are affected. The RFA module, in conjunction with the BCM, controls the ignition modes, and in conjunction with the PCM, controls the starting system. So we're looking at the RFA and the BCM. These are our problems. BCM PIDs. PCM ID, PCM verify, start, enable. RFA PIDs. BCM ID, BCM verify, master key present, minimum keys. And all right, so let's go to, let's see here. Let's try, where is this RFA? I want to go RFA first. I'm just going to jump there. Just because I'm unfamiliar with that module, I haven't done a lot with that module. RFA, remote function actuator. Let's go to data. So the thing is that the key is in the slot right now, and that may be what's going on. Perhaps the people are leaving the key in the slot the whole time, and that's the problem? I don't know. Body control module, identification stored, identification verified. So I guess that would be PCM verify, okay. PCM ID status stored. So there's a stored, which is true. If there is a BCM identification currently stored in the RFA module, must read stored for engine to start. So PCM verify OK indicates if the module identified check between BCM and RFA module passes, must read yes for engine to start. Okay. Master key present, no. So it's a backup key that they're using right now. Minimum number of keys is 2. The amount is 3 that they have programmed. PATS is disabled. It says power supply is 13.5. Up here we got 14.2. So we have at least a half a volt voltage drop. Interesting. Okay. Wonder how this RFA module works. Let's go to the body control module and look at its data. All right. Battery voltage 14, so that's a much better voltage. There's no drop there. It's interesting how that's 14.2. So that tells me that the RFA does have a drop. I wonder if it has a problem. It's carrying the load of the car. Let's see here. Not really seeing anything. ECU operating states default. Engine start stop button is inactive. Fuel pump relay is inactive. Ignition run accessory input circuit inactive. Ignition run start input inactive. Ignition start input inactive. Ignition switch state off. Inferred key and ignition status, key out. Key and ignition circuit inactive. So the BCM does not think that the car is awake. PCM verify, no. ID status NA. So weird. Vehicle enable status disabled. So I tell you what, right now I'm going to go ahead and take the key out of the vehicle, and I want to see if the vehicle will go to sleep. I've got my key in the I've got the key in my hand. You can see I'm pushing the button. We get nothing but an error message saying, oops, sorry, let me push the button again. No key detected. Okay, now we go up here to engine start stop button circuits 1 and 2. I push the button and they show active. Let release the button, inactive. Fuel pump relay is active. All right, so we got our ignition circuits. I push the button, nothing happens. So now we're going to put the key into the emergency slot in here. Now we're going to push the button and we're going to see it still says inactive, but the car just turned on. Push it again, one more time. Okay, ignition switch run. We'll turn it off. It says key out. Turn it back on. Oh, there it is. Accessory and key in. Now it's in run. So this is for if it's a bladed key. Okay, but you see the car turns on. Everything is working as it should. I'll turn the car off. Now it says ignition switch and key out. So the car should technically go to sleep. Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm going to take the key out of the car and I want to see if it actually goes to sleep. All right, now here it's been well past 15 minutes and this vehicle is not going to sleep. As we can see here, if I go into data, I'm going to go down here to this RFA module. This thing is still wide awake. It's talking. We got no issues with that. We have our voltage drop here on this RFA module. Now that is concerning to me. That is concerning to me. That's making me wonder if that's what's the problem. Now, unfortunately, I cannot find a terminal 15 key on or anything like that. Basically, this has 2 powers and 3 grounds. Then it has a network, right? So that's all I can find. There is the RFA module gets a third, I guess this would be the 3rd power actually. Sorry, which is the active high, which is the wake up right here, like so. Whenever you hit the start stop switch, I guess that's the wake up for the RFA module. And it goes to the BCM as well, and it goes to the PCM. So all 3 of those get told to turn on from the start stop switch. But according to our BCM data, the start stop switch is not active until we push the button. And that's how we see that it does work. Now, where else are we at here? Sorry. This is body control module. Which one are we at? Okay, so here we see the start stop. 1 active high is our power there. We have brake pedal position, I believe, is what you get as well. Then you get your antennas and you have the backup transceiver, which we know works because we install the key and the thing actually works. And here we have from the lift gate, the keyless entry pad. And both exterior door handles for the button that you push. That I don't believe, we don't know if that works or not because we don't know if this key is actually working, because these intelligent access functions do not work. So we don't have that ability, right? The proximity function of the key is not functioning at this time. And this RFA module is the one that's responsible for all that. I'm really thinking that the RFA is a problem. I don't know how to diagnose this accurately, but I think that a telltale sign is this voltage drop of a 0.5 volt. 13.3, you can see I have the maintainer at right now, and we have 12.7. So I for sure have a 0.5 volt drop. Now, that's not happening anywhere else. Let's see if that's happening anywhere else. We're going to go to powertrain control module. And we're going to see what the ignition voltage is on this. Battery voltage 1305. So there's no drop here. I mean, there's 3/10 of a drop, 300 millivolts. Like, it's not a half. In the body control module, let's look at our ABS. Let's just see what it says. .8, so there is a drop there. What's it say? Key out. Power mode status, key out. .9 volts. .15 in the instrument panel cluster because it's not lit up at all. Audio control module. .2. .5. Driver seat module. 13.4. Park, ignition switch status, ignition, and off lock position. The car knows that it's off. Front controls. .1. Power steering control module. .1 on battery voltage. 93-degree internal temperature. Vehicle speed, 62 miles per hour. That's interesting. Why would it think that? 0 miles per hour. 0 miles per hour. Vehicle speed 0 miles per hour. Speedometer off. So after we're running through and we can't figure out anything that's going on with, like, you know, vehicle speed, the power steering control module is the only module that has vehicle speed listed. For whatever reason, it's showing the vehicle is doing 62 miles per hour. Now, the vehicle is shut off. This is very strange. I don't understand what this is about. I'm wondering if I should unplug the power steering control module, see if the car goes to sleep. Because this very well could be what's going on. However, there's not that much of a voltage drop. That there is a big voltage drop in that RFA module. So, but this power steering control module has the most codes, and it has a lot of communication codes. You know? Very interesting. I think I'm going to unplug it, see what happens, and if not, I'm going to try and pull some fuses for the RFA module and see if we can't get that to go to sleep, or see if the car will then go to sleep. Okay, so what we're actually going to do is we got a primary power, and then we have a ground and a high-speed CAN bus, and we have a voltage power here, 5 amp. Where does this go to? Now I have to figure out where this goes to. We're probably going to pull fuse 89, 5 amp out and see what happens. But first we got to see where it goes. It goes to the blower motor and the lift gates. Okay, so no big deal. So we will pull this out. Fuse 89, 5 amp. Let's go do that. Okay, where is fuse 89? Right here. Fuse 89, which is a 5 amp fuse. Let's go ahead and take this fuse out. Now what I want to know is, did we lose communication to the power steering control module? All right, back at it. Let's check. Did we lose comms? No comms. Boom, perfect. All right. Now we got 13.4 volts up here. Let's run the fault scan. Look at this. Oh no, it's communicating still. We're gonna have to give it like 15 minutes and see if the car will go to sleep. Unfortunately, so I'll check back with you. All right, so after it's been 15 minutes, I checked the ABS and it says no response. We're gonna do a full vehicle scan and see what we get. Look at this, no comms. Holy smokes. That steering module saying that the vehicle had 60 miles per hour. It was moving, the vehicle speed. Now I'm gonna go back through and look at that 5 amp fuse again and make sure what all it powers up. Oh, wait a minute, 0 volts. 15 minutes has passed and we still have communication. Can see that by going into this module here. See, I still have comms. All right, now, so what are we gonna do? It's obviously not that power steering control module. Now I'm looking at Identifix here. You know, I gotta do something, right? This is just another tool in my toolbox. And what I found here was it's saying somebody repaired liftgate wiring, found corrosion in C4488 connector causing a backflow of voltage through a fuse 33 of the battery junction box that was preventing the PCM from properly powering down. Now I'm going to go, I went to the fuse 33, and the fuse 33 does come from F here. Okay, so it does send power to blower, battery charge, rear defrost, to the ABS, to the cruise control, to the PCM. If it was a 2-liter turbo, it would go to the TCM, and then also to the liftgate release, the blower motor relay, and the power steering control module. All right, so that's fuse 89. That's the one that we unplugged. So it's obviously not that fuse at all. But what we're going to do is we're going to check and see if it's hot there. Now let's go to the M, right? Where's it at? Over here, or the F, sorry. F right here. Come on down, and fuse 33 powers up the occupant classification, and it powers up the rest of this entire box. Okay, so everything here: parking aid, auto dimming, right obstacle, rear heated seat, heated steering wheel, generic function module. Oh, it's on police. Left side obstacle, camera, front lighting control, gear selector, in-vehicle temperature, all-terrain module, heads-up display, restraint control module, center stack, brake. So it powers up a lot of the vehicle, is what I'm getting at. Let's see if any of these fuses are hot, which I'm sure that they are. I'm going to try and get you guys down in there, but it's tight. And this is the fuse box right here, fuse 33 right here. So that's 1, 2, 3. It's right below this relay, right next to the relay, sorry. We'll check that. We'll see if it's hot. Okay. Holy smokes, man. Yep, it's lit off. 33 is hot. So what we're going to have to do is pull. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can see that, huh? Yeah. 33 is hot. Faux show. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start taking those fuses out one by one until it's not hot anymore. And it may just be 33 that we got to pull. Not sure. Where we're going to start is we get 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 41, and 42. So we're going to start there. We're going to start with those. We got 33, 34, 41, and 42. So I'll just focus on these 4 at first. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. This one was rather difficult for me because I was struggling to find my direction. I didn't know which way to go, and I was thinking it was a module keeping everything awake. So I focused on CAN bus, and I focused on power and scan tool data, which was the incorrect direction. Part 2 is coming up, and there we have figured out our direction thanks to Identifix with their tip about power being supplied to fuse 33. That is not our case, that's not the problem, but it is the proper way to diagnose the vehicle, is focusing on power. So stay tuned, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.